A test pilot is an aviator who flies new and modified aircraft in specific maneuvers, known as flight test techniques or FTTs, allowing the results to be measured and the design to be evaluated. In the 1950s, test pilots were being killed at the rate of about one a week, but the risks have shrunk to a fraction of that, thanks to the maturation of aircraft technology, better ground testing and simulation of aircraft performance, fly-by-wire technology, and lately, the use of unmanned aerial vehicles to test experimental aircraft features. Still, piloting experimental aircraft remains more dangerous than most other types of flying. Qualifications: a test pilot must be able to understand a test plan, stick to a test plan, flying a plane in a highly specific way, carefully document the results of each test, have an excellent feel for the aircraft, and sense exactly how it is behaving oddly if it is doing so, solve problems quickly if anything goes wrong with the aircraft during a test, cope with many different things going wrong at once, effectively communicate flight test observations to engineers and relate engineering results to the pilot community, thus bridging the gap between those who design and build aircraft with those who employ the aircraft to accomplish a mission. Test pilots must have an excellent knowledge of aeronautical engineering in order to understand how and why planes are tested. They must be above-average pilots with excellent analytical skills and the ability to fly accurately whilst following a flight plan. Test pilots can be experimental and engineering test pilots or production test pilots. Many test pilots would perform both roles during their careers. Modern test pilots often receive formal training from highly selective military test pilot schools, although other test pilots receive training and experience from civilian institutions and/or manufacturers' test pilot development programs. History: test flying as a systematic activity started during the First World War at the Royal Aircraft Establishment in the United Kingdom. An experimental flight was formed at the Central Flying School. During the 1920s, test flying was further developed by the RAE in the UK, and by the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics in the United States. In the 1950s, NACA was transformed into the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA. During these years, as work was done into aircraft stability and handling qualities, test flying evolved towards a more qualitative scientific profession. The world's oldest test pilot school is what is now called the Empire Test Pilots School, at RAF Boscombe Down in the UK. In America, the United States Air Force Test Pilot School is located at Edwards Air Force Base. The United States Naval Test Pilot School is located at Naval Air Station Patuxent River, Maryland, and EPNER. The French Test Pilot School is located in Istres, France. The only civilian school in the United States is the National Test Pilot School, a not-for-profit educational institute located in Mojave, California. Notable test pilots: